Hi everyone, Jay here. As always, I'm going to offer you some recommendations for ways in which we might modify or adapt our CrossFit linchpin workouts for kids. Now, usually I take a closer look at the workout that we see on a Tuesday, and I am going to dive into that a little, but I'm going to take a closer look today at Monday's workout, which was the EMOM 15 thrusters, 15 pull-ups with a rest in between. Now, the reason that I've chosen to take a closer look at this is because I just think these are two of our absolutely foundational movements that we would prescribe our children. And we're going to look at some ways in which we might modify the pull-up and some suggestions for ways in which we might modify the thruster and the approach to the workout in general. So for our advanced kids, we're going to take a look at 5 rounds for quality, so that's quality of movement. And we're not going for time or number of repetitions. And it's going to be 30 seconds of work on and then 30 seconds of rest. So 30 seconds off. And that would be one round. So one round of 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off for the dumbbell thrusters. And then 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off for the toe assisted pull-ups. We've got toe assisted pull-ups here, which I'll talk about in more detail in a moment. Now, again, we've got dumbbell thrusters. Just because we don't want the children to be moving their head out of the way. We're thinking about that bar path from a thruster where we've got to move our head back out of the way. With dumbbells, we don't have to worry about that with our children, yet we can put them under some load if they're showing sound points of performance across for the air squat. For our toe-assisted pull-ups, now, when I think about the advanced kids, I often think about how I program this for my son. And yes, he can do kipping pull-ups. He can do a number of kipping pull-ups as well as having strict pull-ups. However, I also think that with our CrossFit kids, it's really important that we take them back sometimes to those foundational pieces of movement that we work on. And I think this is a really good opportunity to take back to toe-assisted pull-ups. We can get a bit more volume in there in terms of number of repetitions. We can work really high quality of finding those right positions at the start and at the finish of that pull-up. And also getting a little bit more awareness of that kipping movement. Instead of maybe flailing a little bit as they get a bit fatigued if they were doing kipping pull-ups. Now, by all means, if you have a kid that can do kipping pull-ups and they can maybe do 30 seconds of kipping pull-ups 5 times, you might want to put that in there. But I've just decided to lessen the intensity a little bit and really focus on quality of movement for this workout. For our less experienced children, again, I've gone for 3 to 5 rounds this time instead of 5 rounds for quality. Again, we're working 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, but that could be 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off, depending on where your children are at. And again, for our less experienced children, we really want to dial in the air squat. And as I said last week, we're really focusing on one aspect, one point of performance. It could be their stance. It could be their line of action. Are they moving their hips back before they bend their knees? Are they able to maintain an angry gorilla back, so that neutral lumbar curve? So just pick one aspect to focus on, and gradually over time, the air squat will look incredible if you just focus on small details and build and layer on each of the points of performance gradually. Again, toe assisted pull-ups here. Now, for our no equipment option, we're going to go 3 to 5 rounds, depending on where your children are at in terms of their capacity. 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off again. So they're going to do 30 seconds of air squats. For quality, we're not looking for them to be motoring up and down like a piston. Then they'd rest 30 seconds, and then they're going to do a dish to arch rollovers. So a bit like our hollow to arch, dish to arch, our dish to Superman, we might call it with our children. And that's going to be moving from one to the other, and you'll have a video showing you that. This is one of the foundational pieces to teaching our CrossFit kids how to do a pull-up. That teaching the position that they're going to find at different sides of the kip when we do it. And we do that with our adults as well. Really, for these 3 workout options, I'm really focusing on quality. They've got a half of the workout is rest. So we're looking for movement quality, and we're also looking for them to hit really good positions in each of their movements, whether that be the dumbbell thruster, the air squat, the toe assisted pull up, or the dish to arch or dish to Superman or hollow to arch, whichever terminology you might use. I did mention that I'd give you a quick rundown of what I might do for my two children for Jerry. Now, my first consideration, and the reason I initially put this workout here is like, I just wouldn't give my kids anything to do with Jerry. It's just a mean and intense workout. And then I thought more closely about it. I thought, actually, I probably would adapt that for Jonah, my son, and my daughter as well. Of course I would. And this is how I thought about it. For my son, he's quite a capable runner. So I've given him a mile in total. He can run more. I find with my children, whenever I put them on the rower, they lose a bit of intensity, which is absolutely fine. And I thought this would be a really appropriate time to work on some rowing technique during this workout with them. So spend a bit of time during that 500 meters just practicing what the movement should be like for them. Because I'm lowering the intensity, it's okay to do it in a workout rather than just work on it as a skill aside from the workout. And then really for my son, I could say, right, you can push on those runs, and he really likes running. For my daughter, again, I think something like this would just trigger a bit of boredom for her. And remember, the fundamental pillar to CrossFit is pairing fitness with fun. So I've picked some movements that I think complement each other, complement the Jerry workout, but also I've picked a movement that we like to see come up often, or we like a stimulus we like to hit often with our CrossFit Kids workouts. So I'll give my daughter an AMRAP for quality, which would be run 200 meters. And then I've picked an air squat. So it's kind of mirroring that movement pattern on the rowing machine with the air squats. And the squat is the pillar to functional movement. And then a 10-second handstand hold. Now that handstand hold is in there, like I've mentioned before, to stimulate that vestibular system, to give the children awareness of where they are in space as well. You're going to have a video demoing the Advanced Kids workout, and I'll do a demo of the dish and the arch rollovers that you'll see. Have fun hitting this workout, guys. For the dumbbell thruster, I was really focusing on Jonah actually not pressing too hard out of the squat, because what was happening was pressing hard and he was losing control of the dumbbells overhead, and that was making him step with his feet. So we're really controlling that press and then coming back to a nice front rack position before starting the next squat. Just for the toe assisted pull up, I'm getting him to line his feet up underneath the bar. He'll go into a full hanging position but keeping his feet on the floor, and then bringing his elbows forward, he pulls himself up as if doing a strict pull up, and then back down to full extension at the end. So it's full extension at the bottom, chin over the bar, back to full extension, keeping his feet on the floor and using as much or as little leg as necessary. So for the dish to arch, or it could be a hollow to arch or a dish to Superman, whichever terminology you use, Jonah's focusing on driving his lower back into the floor on the dish, maintaining straight legs. Ideally, maybe when he's in the dish position, I'd like to have his arms extended a bit more overhead.